Welcome everybody to Forza Motorsport 7, and today we're taking a look at the Dell gaming car pack. Now this is a car pack with plenty of variety, and yeah, the first car is this 2017 Aston Martin number 7 Aston Martin Racing V12 Vantage GT3. So yeah, this is a racing car with plenty of power, 600 horsepower and 516 pounds-feet of torque. Doesn't weigh all that much at 2,950 pounds. And yeah, as you can see, it's got all the usual aerodynamic tweaks compared to the standard car, and yeah, obviously that gives it better handling and better braking than what it would have had standard. So let's take a look at it in Forza Vista. So yeah, pretty decent looking car, because obviously it is based on the standard Aston Martin V12 Vantage, and yeah, there you go, there's that 6 litre V12 providing all that power, and yeah, it's got the usual racing interior, absolutely stripped down to the bare metal, with all the primary essentials, and then even the boot. I'm surprised the boot actually still works, to be honest. Would have thought it would have been better to save weight. But nonetheless, this being a racing car, it's obviously a car that's had plenty of success at racing, otherwise it wouldn't be on a game like this for starters. It actually won at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in its own class, so yeah, it's got plenty of racing pedigree despite being a relatively new racing car. But nonetheless, we're going to take it out onto a racing track and see what it can do, so see you when we get there. So yeah, like with every car pack that we've reviewed on Forza games, we take the racing cars out for a quick one lap go around the track, and then just have a quick look at the road cars. Going to be a little bit different for this car pack, because there is obviously a special car in this car pack, but it will primarily be just the racing cars that we'll take out. There's another one after this Aston Martin to take a look at. Yeah, it's got a mighty wing on the back of this Aston, and obviously that means the faster you go, the more downforce and better handling you have. To be honest, even though it does have that big wing, its top speed isn't all that bad. So it does 183 mile an hour, and its acceleration is pretty solid as well. 0 to 63.2 seconds, and 0 to 106.4 seconds. So yeah, even though obviously its engine has been tuned for racing more than road use, it's still really rather quick. Obviously that's helped by the fact that it's lighter than the standard road car. Not only making for better handling, but for better acceleration as well. Yeah, this engine in this car is way more ferocious than in the road car. But yeah, as per usual, racing cars, I don't really have a million things to say about them, but I do respect them being in the game, and obviously there are plenty of people out there that do enjoy them in a game like this, so I'm more than happy to have at least a couple of spaces saved up for racing cars like this, in any car pack quite frankly, because then it means at least 5 are a potential car that I will like. So yeah, let's move on to the next racing vehicle out of this car pack. And this is the next racing car, the 2016 Audi number 17 Rotek Racing TT So yeah, this is a pretty powerful car, especially for one that is front wheel drive. 380 horsepower and 390 pounds-feet of torque, weighing a mere 2,425 pounds. And as you can see, once again, like the Aston Martin, it has a pretty huge wing at the rear end, and plenty of other aerodynamic tweaks around the rest of the body. Let's take a quick look at it in Forza Vista. So yeah, unlike some race cars, you don't have to take the bonnet off to actually get under the hood. There's the engine providing all of that power. I think it's a 2.5 litre inline-5 engine, definitely turbocharged, and yeah, I think the turbocharger is pretty much where most of that power comes from. And yeah, just like the Aston Martin, stripped out interior, right to the metal. Right, we've got a passenger seat, and like the Aston Martin, you can open up the rear end, though it's the other way around this time. You have to take off the entire rear end just to get inside, whereas it was take off the bonnet just to get to the engine in the Aston Martin. But yeah, as you can see all the gubbins there, all helping it get around the track perfectly well. So yeah, once again, because obviously this is a racing vehicle, we're going to take it out to a track and see what it can do. So see you when we get there. So we're at Sonoma Raceway. Should show how good this car is in terms of handling for a front wheel drive racer. Bound to not have the best of launches, but certainly not too shabby once you get up to speed. And like the Aston Martin, the faster you go, the more downforce you're going to have, because obviously this has probably even bigger wing at the rear end. And yeah, this car was pretty successful at Pikes Peak, despite the fact that it was still set up for the Nürburgring with its gearing, etc. It was able to set a new front wheel drive record at Pikes Peak by nearly a minute, beating the previous record. So yeah, pretty formidable car, quite frankly. I can only imagine what it would have been able to do had it been actually set up for Pikes Peak rather than the Nürburgring. But I imagine this car is still a pretty ferocious car even to go around the Nürburgring, so definitely give it a try out on there, I'd recommend. So I reckon you could get around there pretty sharpish, despite that this is not having the most power for a racing vehicle on this game. But still, acceleration wise, it's still pretty good. 0 to 16 5 seconds, 0 to 109 seconds, going to a top speed of 166 miles an hour. It's pretty good. This car's definitely more about the handling than the braking, because it does actually have better handling and braking than the Aston Martin. Probably primarily down to the fact that it weighs about 500 pounds less, but definitely does have the better handling and braking, especially when you're going at some fair speed. That downforce really does work in keeping that car well and truly glued to the road. So yeah, now we're going to be taking a look at the road cars in this car pack. So it's going to be 5 in a row, unfortunately, but we will be taking one of the special vehicles in that remaining 5 out on a certain track, just to see what it can do in a certain way. So yeah, let's take a look at the first car. That is a road car. And this is the first of the road cars, the 2018 Bugatti Chiron, a car that plenty of people in the Forza community have been wanting. I kind of have been wanting it, just because obviously it's the latest Bugatti and it's, you know, the fastest production car at the moment by a long way. And yeah, it's more than made up for the hype that surrounded this car for a very long time. As you can see, 1,479 horsepower and 1,180 pounds-feet of torque, and unlike the Veyron, doesn't weigh all that much, 4,398 pounds. Pretty sure the Veyron weighed more than that, though the Super Sport might have weighed a little bit less. But nonetheless, that is an incredible amount of power over the original Veyron. Yeah, it's about 480 horsepower more, to be honest. So yeah, that's pretty incredible. And yeah, obviously this car's more about its top speed than anything else, but I personally do like the look of it, and especially like the look of it over the Veyron, which was a bit bland, to be honest, for a car that had all that power. But yeah, we will at the end of this episode be taking a look at this car at Le Mans, just to see what the speed and the handling is all about on this car. But nonetheless, we're going to move on to the next vehicle. Let's take a quick look at it. And yeah, the next one is a 2018 Dodge Durango SRT. You can basically think of this as more as like a Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT in a different body, quite frankly, with as it has pretty much the same amount of power as a 2014 Jeep, with 475 horsepower and 470 pounds-feet of torque, while it weighs 5,510 pounds. So yeah, this is basically a car that is just a Jeep, but in a, like I said, in a different body. So it's basically whether or not you like Dodge or Jeep, and if you like the looks of this over the Jeep or not. That's basically how you choose between those two cars, because what I've found in terms of driving and performance, there's no real difference, to be honest. So yeah, bit of a shame that we've got a vehicle that's pretty much like another one, but it does kind of spice up the variety a bit, and it is about time that we had a Dodge SUV that wasn't, you know, a Ram, which is something we'll be looking at later. But nonetheless, let's move on to the next vehicle, and it's this, the 1968 Holden Monaro GTS 327. This is actually the first Holden from the 60s that we've ever had on a Forza game, so it's good in that regard, and it's also good in the fact that we've finally got a new 60s muscle car, because we've not had one for a while. We've had a few returnees from previous Forza games, but not had a new 60s muscle car for a while, and I am really glad it's in the game. And it's got a decent amount of power, especially from Australia, which wasn't known for its mega powerful vehicles in the 60s. 249 horsepower, 325 pounds-feet of torque, weighing 3,280 pounds. So, yeah, certainly not massive amount, but it's, you know, a little bit less than the HK Monaro, and it does weigh a little bit more. But styling-wise, I actually kind of prefer it. And yeah, it's obviously not as good, being a slightly older car, but you know, it's not about handling or anything like that. With these kind of muscle cars, it's more about how it makes you feel while driving it, and how much enjoyable and the enjoyability factor it is in terms of driving. So yeah, I look forward to reviewing this as well as the previous two vehicles. Let's move on to the next car, which quite frankly is a revelation, because I really wasn't expecting to enjoy it, and that's the 2018 Kia Stinger. This car is really rather good. I've driven it only one lap around the track, and I was pretty much bowled over straight away, quite frankly. And it's got, as you can see, plenty of speed, acceleration, decent handling and braking, and 365 horsepower, 376 pounds-feet of torque from a 3.3 litre turbocharged V6. And the engine sounds absolutely brilliant, quite frankly, and doesn't weigh that much either, at 3,750 pounds, which is quite lightweight for a modern sports saloon compared to your BMW M5s etc., which weigh more. You've got a pretty lightweight car in your hand. Obviously this does have less power than those kind of vehicles, because it doesn't have anywhere near 500 horsepower like, let's say, the Alfa Romeo Giulia, but you know, being the first properly fast car from Kia, it's a really solid start, and I look forward to seeing what they do next with it. Now, final car we're going to be taking a quick look at, and it's kind of hinted at the when we're looking at the Dodge. It's 2017 Ram 2500 Power Wagon, or 2500 Power Wagon, however you want to say it. So yeah, massive car, or massive truck, weighing in at more than 7,000 pounds, so it's a heavy beast. And yeah, it's got 410 horsepower and 429 pounds-feet of torque from its Hemi V8. But yeah, it's quite a lot of weight there, and quite a lot of size as well. So not all that much power for such a heavy vehicle, which is why acceleration-wise it's not all that great. But it's something we've not had in a game like this before, and yeah, again, I look forward to driving it. Would have been probably more appropriate to put something a bit different in, like a diesel version on one of these, because I know there's those Cummins V diesel engines out there that go in vehicles like this, but I'm perfectly happy to have a Hemi V8 in this car nonetheless. So yeah, we're going to be taking that Bugatti Chiron out onto Le Mans and see what it can do in terms of top speed and handling. So yeah, see you when we get there. Right, here we are. Let's see what this rather expensive and quick vehicle can do. So yeah, it's got all-wheel drive to put all that massive amount of power down. Spoiler comes up at a certain speed and will eventually retract. There we go. So yeah, this car will get a review of its own, because it is a road vehicle, and that's what I do when car parts like this come out. I will properly review the road vehicles in full, but obviously this is a car that has been much longer for in a game like this, and it'll be a bit of a waste just to not even slightly drive it. That's a review of the car pack, so yeah, let's just take it around Le Mans and see what it's all about, and then we'll take a proper look at it in a review of its own. Well, we'll most likely go around a track that is a bit more corner heavy than straight heavy, just to see what it's really like under twisting and turning conditions. As you can see, no problem sailing past 200 mile an hour as you'd expect for a 1400 plus horsepower vehicle. There's 230, 240. Unfortunately, you can't actually upgrade the engine on this car, which is a shame, because it would be nice to see if we could go way past 270, but As you can see, we're already at 260. Now the top speed in this car in real life is 261, but that's electronically limited. I imagine you'd be able to go even faster if that wasn't there. I'm sure it's there just for safety reasons, but as you can see, we're doing more than that already. And there's 267, so yeah, you can get it up to, I think, a 269 I saw on the tuning. Oh, menu, oh, but as you can see, if you don't brake in time, you will go off. So yeah, let's take it around the rest of the Le Mans and see what it's capable of. So yeah, this car packing overall is pretty solid, to be honest. It's not got any really remarkable cars. I know the Chiron's in it, and everybody's been practically wanting it, but to me, even though it's a car to have in the game and a pretty remarkable car in it of itself, to me personally, it's nothing all that special. And I know that's, you know, probably, you know, raging a bunch of people right now, but these kind of cars are never even all that special to me. I know plenty of people love these vehicles and only ever want hypercars and supercars and 200-mile-an-hour cars all the time, every time in car packs, but me personally, I prefer the slower kind, the rarer kind, you know, the older classics that you just don't see in games or don't see in real life anymore. They're a little bit more special to me personally. But definitely can see why people really, really like this car and really, really wanted it in the game. And I do like it, but as far as favourite cars from the car packs at the moment, this probably wouldn't even be top 10, to be honest. I imagine that wouldn't be the case for plenty of people, but me personally, I just get more enjoyment out of the slower kind of vehicles. I don't know why. Trust me, I can't even pin it down myself, but that's just the way I am. Probably weird, but you know, that's just the way I am, and quite frankly, I'm not going to change it or deny it for anybody, quite frankly. But yeah, pretty solid vehicle. But handling wise, oh, it's a little bit skittish and a little bit all over the place if you push it. But then again, it is a 4,000+ pound car with a hell of a lot of power, so I guess that's no real surprise. So yeah, overall a really good car pack, quite frankly. I'm glad we've got a 60s Holden. I'm glad we've got a Kia that is finally fast, because God knows we've been waiting a while for Kia to finally step up to the sports car market after all of their more reasonably priced vehicles. And yeah, I like the Dodge just for its insane size. And obviously this Bugatti is fairly insane in terms of speed and power, and the two races are fairly decent as well. Not a massive fan of the Durango. Like I said, it just feels like a Jeep Grand Cherokee in a different body, but maybe I'll come to enjoy it a little bit more if we when we do a full depth review of it. But nonetheless, it's probably not my favourite car pack. I might well have enjoyed the previous two a bit more, but on the whole, it is fairly solid, and I do highly recommend getting it because, like I said, plenty of variety. You've got the fastest car in the world at the moment, and you've got a classic 60s muscle car, and you've got a couple of races, and then you've got a couple of, you know, big American trucks to go with it. So, yeah, overall, solid car pack, even if it's not my personal favourite so far. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.